And welcome back to Island Life Live. Established in 2020, the Hawaiʻi True Cost Coalition is comprised of over 70 community-based nonprofit organizations.
And the coalition serves over 500,000 people across the islands to provide quality services to the most vulnerable in our community. Joining us in our hale is Amanda Pump, President and CEO of Child and Family Service. Welcome back, sister.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
And also we want to welcome Michelle Bartel, the President and CEO of Aloha United Way. Aloha, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much for being here. And Amanda, let's start with you. We gave a brief description in our intro of what you guys do and who you are, but can you share in a broader sense what the Hawaiʻi True Cost Coalition is and what it does?
Sure. Several years ago, we kind of hui together a group of nonprofits, and it's because some of us haven't seen contract increases from the state for over a decade. And so as post-pandemic, as the need kept skyrocketing, it became harder and harder to cover the true cost of service, and we had to become really creative. But that only goes such a short distance. So the hui started expanding. So to date, we have over 70 community-based organizations in the hui. Collectively, we serve 500,000 people, so 500,000 people every year. And a lot of us provide the safety net services, so domestic violence, child abuse, food security, housing, and so such pivotal work for that, and it helps the needs of our community.
Absolutely. Michelle, it sounds serious, right? How serious is this situation? And what happens if these contracts are for these essential services are not increased? What happens?
Yeah, so it is a real serious problem, and it's actually not a new problem, as Amanda mentioned. It's been going on for over 10 years. And in a recent survey of nonprofits, over 91% of local nonprofits indicated that the government contracts, the funding that they're receiving, does not cover the full cost of providing services. So you can imagine this is really putting our CBOs in a very untenable position. And so they've had to do things like really try to cut their administrative costs. They've cut the services that they've provided. They've cut the number of people they're able to serve. You know, they pay their people less, which, you know, Hawaii is such an expensive place to live anyway. That really doesn't work. And so what it comes down to is that when government isn't able to pay the full cost of providing these services,
has to come from somewhere.
It has to come from somewhere.
That's
so
right.
There's also a lot of increased pressure on, you know, local funders, and that just puts increased pressure. But at the end of the day, it's our community and it's our vulnerable people that are really suffering.
Can I ask, how has the coalition, has it, because, you know, they always say strength in numbers, has it at least helped move the needle for the coalition in a legislative body?
It definitely has. And so when we first started, we didn't receive much traction. We had a lot of listening ears, but we were kind of late in the game, and even though we got some attention, it didn't move a lot of things along in the ledge. This year, we really are making some great traction despite all of the federal uncertainties that we're facing. And so I will say we've really done our due diligence, reaching out. The community has stepped up, our participants have stepped up and really partnered with us in helping move True Cost Coalition along.
Well, I love that you guys are getting that traction, but at the same time, I realize you're here because you need the help. What can we do?
Well, you can call and email your legislator and say, hey, I support increase of government contracts through CBOs. You can also visit some of the bills that we are supporting along the way at hitruecost.com.
Yeah, I think also thinking about what CBOs affect you or your family or your neighbor or your community, and think about those CBOs and think to yourself, if they don't get the money, they can't provide these services, what's going to happen? And then you can step up and say, hey, you know what, I support this particular organization, they need the help, right?
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
If you have family and friends that work in CBOs, thank them for the work that they're doing, because they need to hear that right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Amanda, Michelle, you folks are amazing. We appreciate you. Hawaiʻi True Cost Coalition. Now, after the break, we're going to be back to celebrate your happy birthdays right here on Island Life Live.